what we're looking at here is another wet spot. So moisture is accumulating, and some of it's soaking in, some of it's running off. And you can see looking up the hill, there's a lot more watershed and a lot more channeling. Now again, we moved one of these springs down so you can see this spring overflowing and actual water running. There we go. And so that's a running spring that we brought all the way down from the top of the hill to this surge pond, which again could have been better positioned in here. It's not completely level. It's got some gaps. This shelf didn't completely stay on board. But look, it's better to get something up than nothing. You can see more moisture in the ground. And you can see how these horizontals were not trenched in properly. Now you might think scooping with the back of your foot, you're going to trench out things a little bit and get it started, but no, you got to do it the right way. I should have been out here with the hoe and just really dug it out so that the water ran smooth. See, you see up the hill, we're bringing the water down because it's okay to have some erosion down here, but up there you don't want any erosion. So we'll fix it from the top down. And here we will redo these so that we can spread the water out, slow it down, and run it down the hill. Now the great thing is I can drop an electric pump in here and I can use this water to water the upper areas to get the water, to get the cover crops in place. But this isn't going to stay like this forever. Once that twists, it'll bust that surge tank and it'll run right down the hill. Okay, we got more running down the hill here, some more sheeting, some more. We can look up here. See, you've got some more run over. You've got this area in the middle here that's got heavy damage, needs to be replaced before we can get dump trucks down there. We've got, again, these shelves, but then now we've got this. This is where we've got a discoloration of running water. So this is a deeper in the ground spring, and it doesn't smell. But again, remember, we have a very deep pit of, actually there's two of them up here, of brush and tree materials that was packed into the ground, and it's designed to soak up the water. So some of this discoloration can be the rotting materials. It could be topsoil that got trapped underground. It can be a lot of different things. It could be the sewer line is broken. I don't smell anything, but we gotta be mindful of that as well. And we've got just the area. So we're going to monitor this. We're going to start taking this brush out, and again throw it down there in the pile. But again, we're going to smell it. It's a very earthy smell. The liquid is very earthy, so it is likely just that material that's packed underground starting to break down through an anaerobic bacterial activity. But we need to take care of that. We need to know exactly what that is and take care of it. Again, we've got water that washed down the hill. I'm starting to see a little bit of the alfalfa, a little bit of the grass, but I'm also seeing, which I'm not liking, I'm also seeing some of this really messed up grass. This grass I don't like. So what we'll end up doing is likely leveling this out a bit more so that we can get a really aggressive cover crop in it. So we're moving down more. We got moisture embedded in the soil. And we've got this area that's filling with silt. Now, again, ideal world, we would have had this wall cleaned up a lot better. You know, there's a lot of stuff that would have happened. It didn't happen, so we can start it now. One thing I am noticing is the wildlife is very quickly starting to utilize this moist area. So I'm going to need to get a backhoe in here to dig out a couple of long swales or a detention pond area to slow this water down before it gets to this brush dam. And then on the brush dam, certainly be cleaning it up quite a bit. We got deer all the way down here coming across this space. And what's going to end up happening is we're going to have more seepage. It's more seepage to the back. So we are having some soil erosion off the back. I'm standing on the brush pile, which is not great to do with the camera. But we are going to have some coming through the back here, which is coming out pretty slow. But again, we'll have to trench out on either side. I'm hearing deer right there in the wood line. One of the problems with these covers is you're going to have deer getting into it. But I want to tighten up this pile quite a bit. And now that we know it's shady down here, we can do this and kind of work in the shade and just tighten this pile up. Get chainsaw out over here. Clean some of these pieces up and get it straight. One of the challenges that you're going to have here is that with all this new grass growing, it's good pick for that deer. And they're going to start grazing through here. See, we're down at the bottom of the property. Okay, so we're coming across, and we're still, you know, some trash is uncovered, so we'll get that cleaned up. Of course, all these sticks will get cleaned up. We've got straw that bunched up down here. It looks like somebody, the straw blew down into the bottom. We'll just walk it up the hill a little bit and spread it out. And you can see what's happened is that some of the straw didn't stay. So when we get the next earthworkings done, additional soil on that wall up here, and then the swales down here, what we're going to end up doing is just have them hydroseed it. Have them blow straw and hydroseed it out so that we get nice grass quick, and then I can work the other stuff into it. We got over here a nice little shelf. I want to show you something about these big beautiful trees. People are talking about, oh, you cut down the big beautiful trees. A lot of them are split up the middle. So yeah, they're beautiful, but you can't do anything with a log like that, split up the middle. So, always find something to do. It is hot down here, which is nice, meaning we're gonna have a good garden in place. I'm still getting the measures on how much sun it has during the course of a day. But again, there's always gonna be punch lists. You're gonna walk the property. You can do videos like this. You can just simply take a notepad and write down a punch list. But you're noticing things. You're looking around. You're noticing smells. Like I'm smelling right now some of the fermentation from the liquid fertilizer up there. So I'm smelling that all the way down here. I'm also seeing that the grass down here didn't take much at all. I do see some alfalfa in it. But I see some of that old nasty stuff that I don't like anymore, So I'm gonna have to watch this. I'm seeing a lot of sticks getting exposed. Those small sticks can come down and get put on this pile. But also we can tidy up the edge of that pile and have an excavator dig a ditch in the front of it. So dig a long trench in the front of it. It's gonna be more shallow in the middle, but it's gonna have a dam on the back and have a detention area up front here rather than allowing the water to run through the brush dam. This area here we're going to keep monitoring because as hot as it is and as dry as the ground is, that's still kind of wet. And then of course the stock tank up there, I really would like to get a larger holding tank up in the middle there so that we can water the plants. So I still have somebody coming out for the rainwater capture, but I want the rainwater capture to go to a large stock tank much higher on the hill to hold maybe 25,000, 10,000 gallons of water. So we can continue to water this down here with productive plants. But don't be discouraged. If you got more stuff on your list than you're getting done, just keep calling the vendors, keep lining people up. Look at ways to cash flow the property early. Look at ways to remediate. So if we're having constant running water down here in the middle, which is expected, how do we dig a detention pond? In this case, it'll be chinampas, and the chinampa detention pond will dam up a lot of this water until it gets to a certain height, and then can overflow on a swivel drain. And then that way, we've collected the water, slowed it down, and then kept it off this back wall. How can we clean up the wall to make it tighter so we get more space? If the wall is all scraggly like this, it's hard to get a space out of it. So we can walk down the wall over time and cut the wood up and keep stacking it, and keep tightening up the pile. And then we can shovel trenches in the front. Where in this case, if we shovel with the trench in the front, we're going to trench and throw the dirt up the hill. Okay, we want to throw that dirt up the hill and we want to make sure that we trench deeper on the outsides than we do on this side, because we are channeling most all the water down here. So we're not actually going to dig ditches in parallel with the brush dam. We would dig them on contours, and so there may be several broken ditches as we move across. But that's a whole lot easier with the backhoe than it is with by hand. But we can at least survey it out. So again, you're going to see all kinds of stuff that needs to get done, but you're going to have little steps you can take in that direction. If trenches need dug, you at least survey it out. If the wall needs more materials on it, you can at least estimate how many materials by doing some measurements. That's how we keep this going.